I've noticed that there are a lot of promotional videos on the internet, but it seems that some things just never get explained, so I figured I'd make a video myself. So this is a book. I'm sure you've seen these, even if you do most of your reading online, if you read. So this is a book, and you might notice that they come in all kinds of sizes and colors. Usually they're not shrink wrapped. They might be shrink wrapped. This one isn't. It's new. It's not shrink wrapped. I think I might have taken off the shrink wrap. So the first thing you'll notice is that sometimes books have naughty words on the covers. Don't be offended. They're not talking about you. In this case, this is the name of the author, and there's a picture of the author. And you can already see something from the way this looks, the way I put this. There's a picture on the cover and the name of the author, so you're looking at the front of the book. Now, if you turn this around, there's a lot of text and this funny symbol here. This is the back. So this way, you know. Oh, hi Harry. You know how this works. Okay. Just in case you're wondering, if you take a book and you don't know what side. You know how to hold it or how to put it. You know, look for the picture. That's probably the front. And then if you can read the text, then you're holding it the right way. If you cannot read the text easily, like this, then it's upside down. Okay. All right. So how does this work? You'll notice that there's stuff inside, which you can sort of see. So the way to see that is the following. You just gently lift the first, this is called the cover, the first thing. Let's call it the thing. It's easier. And then you get to something that looks like this. You can just ignore this. It's just pretty. And then, voila, the first page is already empty. Okay, so ignore that too. Right, and then these are the pages, and you'll notice that in this case, can you hear that? It makes a little sound when you move it. And there's another almost empty page, and that has a naughty word again. So that's the author. Just in case you don't remember it from when you looked at the cover, they'll remind you this is the author, and that actually will remind you again on the next page. You know, this is the author, and then this is what is included in this book, and in this case, it's 4 novels of the 1960s. Okay, and then underneath that's the publisher, the people who produce these books. There are people who actually make these books out of wood. It's a complicated process, don't ask. So and then you just keep flipping pages, and you might wonder at this stage, you're already probably wondering, you know, why bother, right? You know, you knew all this already from the cover, why bother opening it up? But just keep moving, and some books, in this case, this is a book that has a table of contents, so that just tells you what's inside, which is kind of useful if you want to know what's going on and if you just don't want to flip the pages. Okay, so in this case there's 4 individual novels, and there's a chronology and some notes, which is always nice. And then you flip the page again, and there's a title, and if you have a good memory, which you might not have, you can just go back 1 page. You see this is the title of the first novel in this book, The Man in the High Castle. And of course you would only know if you know how to read. So I forgot to mention that in the beginning. If you don't know how to read, don't bother. There are some books that have pictures, of course. Those are great, but the ones with all this black stuff on the white, you know, if you can't read, that's not gonna be much fun. And then it keeps going just like that, right? So I mean, it's a little boring in the beginning. You have to find your way to the actual text, but once you're there, this is what it looks like. Then it will get interesting. And the way to work on this, of course, is you know, you read from, just like on your computer screen, you read from the left to the right, and you read from up to down. This is not a Japanese comic. You might be familiar with those. No, this is just the way you would read it on your computer screen, and there's no scrolling involved here. You'd see everything right away, and the next page again, the way this works is you just, you know, flip this page, and then this is the next page, and then the following page is that one. Okay? So on your screen you usually just see one page and then another page. Here you always see two pages, and you have to go again from left to right. And then you just keep going and going and going and going. And then ultimately, once you're done with the book, you know, or with the story at least, let's see whether we can find the end of the story. Let's see, chapter 15. You see books are, can you see that? Are subdivided into chapters. This one goes up to 15 apparently, and there's even a page number that will help you knowing if you're confused and you look at this and you don't really know which page comes before which page, so you can look at these numbers. So this page says 224, this one says 225. 224 is one smaller than 225, so this page comes before that page. Okay, there's Harry again, blocking the sun out now. And this is it. And this is the end of the novel. And it's not like in the movies, there's no the end. It's just blank space, and that's it. But when you read the novel, then you'll probably, in most cases, you will realize, okay, this is really the end. Sometimes you don't. Then it's maybe a bad novel, or just a very sophisticated book, which you know, you might or might not want to touch. But you know, at the end, usually there's some blank space. And then in this case, there are 4 novels in the book. But if there's just one novel, then, you know, it's more like, you know, at the end of this book, once you're done, there's more blank pages, and then you get the funny looking paper again, and that's the end of the book. So this is how books work. And now you can go out and go to a bookshop, if there's a bookshop where you live, and buy yourself a book. They usually have a lot of books, these shops, and you can see where you get with it. Otherwise, if you don't want to leave your computer, which is perfectly understandable, just go online to places like Amazon.com, and then you can order a book. You can't really look at the book online, of course, but usually they tell you how much it weighs, how many pages it has, and then you can pay for it online, and they will send it to you in a box, and you take it out of the box, and then when you take it out of the box and out of the shrink wrap, you can get started with your book. So this is how you operate a book. I hope you found this instructional video useful, and stay tuned. Next thing, I'm probably gonna explain how you use a fork.